got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
Broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa and Manzi Prince. The headlines. The Minister of Defense, Major General Albert Murasira, today held discussions with the Kenyan Defense Minister Eugene Wamalwa. Rwanda has been ranked 60th in the World Economic Forum 2022 Global Gender Gap Index. Ivana Trump, Donald Trump's first wife and the mother of 3 of his children, has died at the age of 73. Welcome back. News in detail. The Minister of Defense, Major General Albert Murasira, today held discussions with the Kenyan Defense Minister Eugene Wamalwa. Among issues discussed were the benefits that the RDF has registered from a partnership with International Computer Driving License in ICT training and skills development in military colleges and other sectors. They also discussed ways of strengthening existing defense cooperation between their respective defense forces and regional efforts to deal with security challenges. MP Chantal Mbacheshimana has said that schools must incorporate gender equality in education for children to grow with an understanding of equal rights. This comes after the World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Report 2022 ranked Rwanda 60th in closing the gender gap globally.
World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report 2022 indicates that Rwanda advanced 1 place in bridging gender inequality globally at 81.1% and remains the leading country in Africa. According to indices in the report, Rwanda ranks 108th in educational attainment with an improvement from 115th place in 2021. MP Mbacheshimana, the head of Rwanda Women Parliamentary Forum, said there remain gender gaps that need to be addressed across different sectors by renewing policies and using available opportunities to tackle them. While there are steps made in promoting the uptake of girls in STEM studies and pushing them to further their education, more needs to be done in gender mainstreaming in schools. Apart from the Educational Attainment Index, Rwanda ranked 7th in political empowerment, 33rd in economic participation and opportunity, and 59th in health and survival. Generally, the global gender gap has been closed by 68.1% in 2022. And at the current rate of progress, it will take 132 years to reach full parity, while it was estimated to take 100 years with the pre-2020 trend, states the report. Sadia Zahidi, managing director of the World Economic Forum, said the economic and social consequences of the pandemic and geopolitical conflict have paused progress and worsened outcomes for women and girls around the world. The report forecasts that at the current rates of progress, it will take 155 years to close the political empowerment gender gap, 151 years for the economic participation and opportunity gender gap, and 22 years for the educational attainment gender gap. The time to close the health and survival gender gap remains undefined as its progress to parity has stalled.
Rwanda has started the implementation of the agreement with global pharmaceutical firm Pfizer to provide all the medicines and vaccines available on a not-for-profit basis. The agreement entails providing training to healthcare professionals from the signatory countries around the world. The Minister of Health, Dr. Daniel Ngamije, explained that the training is part of the first step of the implementation of the agreement. He said the training is in line with providing healthcare professionals from different public hospitals the knowledge on how medicines and vaccines provided by Pfizer are administered. The agreement signed in Davos between Pfizer and 42 countries includes the distribution of medicines that cure COVID-19, or therapeutics, cancer medicines, medicines that cure skin conditions, and other medicines that are manufactured by Pfizer.
The ever-changing labor market calls for emphasis on digital skills, critical thinking, and problem solving to increase employment opportunities for young people. Minister of Youth and Culture, Rosemary Mbabazi, made the remarks in line with today's celebration of World Youth Skills Day. The minister said a digital skills gap is growing fast for both mid-skill and high-skill level jobs. That's why people become irrelevant to the market. She called on the youth to remain game changers in the digital transformation era, and most importantly, change attitude and shift from white-collar jobs to blue-collar jobs. She said this day provides an opportunity to reflect on youth skills programs and to create collaborations between youth, government, private sector, and development partners. Rwanda has also developed a national skills development and employment promotion strategy to build a dynamic and capable workforce to meet the rising demand for high-skilled jobs. According to the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, the unemployment rate declined to 16.5% as compared to 23.8% recorded in November 2021. Information shows that the unemployment rate remained relevantly higher among females and compared to males. It is also relevantly higher among the youth population aged 16 years to 30 years as compared to that among adults aged 31 years and above.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
Now the Rwanda Stock Exchange Market Report. Today's trading session recorded a total turnover of 82,956,000 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in 4 deals on the fixed income market and 21,143,800 Rwandan francs from 85,400 shares traded in 6 deals. Bank of Kigali closed the counter at 265 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded its turnover of 20,246,000 Rwandan francs from 76,400 shares traded in 1 deal. I&M Bank closed the counter at 43 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 197,800 Rwandan francs from 4,600 shares traded in one deal. Bralirwa closed the counter at 160 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 688,000 Rwandan francs from 4,300 shares traded in 3 deals. Simerwa closed the counter at 120 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 12,000 Rwandan francs from 100 shares traded in one deal. M10 Rwanda closed the counter at 177 Rwandan francs, Equity Bank at 440 Rwandan francs, Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs, National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs, Uchumi Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs, and RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. Now the currency market review of today. The Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.5 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 8.7 Rwandan francs. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.43 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.44 Rwandan francs. Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.26 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.27 Rwandan francs. Burundian franc buying price was 0.49 and the selling price was 0.5 Rwandan francs. US dollar buying price was 1,015 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,035 Rwandan francs. The British pound buying price was 1,204 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,228 Rwandan francs. The euro buying price was 1,018 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,038 Rwandan francs.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
Around 25 million children around the world missed out on routine vaccinations last year that protect against life-threatening diseases as the knock-on effects of the pandemic continue to disrupt healthcare globally. According to new figures released by the United Nations Children's Fund and the World Health Organization, that is 2 million more children than in 2020 when COVID-19 caused lockdowns around the world and 6 million more than pre-pandemic in 2019. UNICEF describes the drop in vaccination coverage as the largest sustained backslide in childhood vaccination in a generation, taking coverage rates back to levels not seen since the early 2000s. The Sahel is home to nearly 5 million people who have fled their homes, and the wave keeps growing due to jihadist attacks and communal conflicts, a situation exacerbated by underdevelopment and global warming, according to the head of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. UNHCR said in a statement that at the end of June 2022, the Sahel region is facing a serious and prolonged humanitarian crisis, which has forced 4,820,871 people to flee their homes, including nearly 3 million people internally displaced in their countries. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, who is visiting refugee camps in Chad, said more humanitarian aid is needed for all the countries of the Sahel. He added that the climate emergency was depriving communities of resources and encouraging conflict. The Togolese army has admitted to killing 7 children on July 10th in a blast in the village of Markba in Ton Prefecture in its northernmost region near the border with Burkina Faso. In a statement issued, the the military revealed that the youngsters aged 14 to 18 were hit by air raids at dawn after they were mistaken for what they say was a group of jihadists who entered the country on the basis of intelligence gathering. Ivana Trump, Donald Trump's first wife and the mother of 3 of his children, has died at the age of 73. Ms. Trump, who was born in what is now the Czech Republic, married the former president in 1977. They divorced 15 years later in 1992. They had 3 children together, Donald Jr., Ivanka and Eric Trump. According to the Associated Press, police believe the cause of the death may be accidental. Ms. Trump was found unconscious near a staircase at her New York City home, and it is believed she may have fallen. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.